Welcome back. Well, today I have Yrizarry here, who's with Align Wealth Advisors. And, this is a time of frustration and financial worry. And so we asked him here to help us understand exactly what that means. Well, thank you for joining us.
Well, thank you, Lisa. I appreciate the opportunity.
So obviously, people are really worried right now. What are some things that you would suggest that they do?
Well, it takes a lot of thought to go through something like this. And I recently went through a Coast Guard training class for first aid and survival.
Mm-hmm.
I thought, after 32 years of doing this and never having been through something quite this drastic, I designed this survival kit for my clients and prospective clients, and a survival guide to help us through this that would work not only now, but in the future as well.
Well, that is a perfect way to look at it, because we are kind of in survival mode right now. I mean, obviously we're at stay at home. We need to wear masks. I mean, there's a whole lot of stuff that we have to do that's totally different than our normal life. Well, let's go through some of those steps. So go ahead and just walk us through each one.
In a time of panic, in a time of distress, it's important to simplify as much as possible a format. So we have 4 steps. Once again, having gone through this so many times and having a lot of military clients, it really helped me to think really clearly about this. The first step is to don't panic. Easier said than done. If you stay calm in a situation and then stay rational, you've got an ability to get your thoughts together and really start to come up with the next step, which is even more important, and that is call for help.
Yes.
When we were in a training, and this is funny, it's only a few months ago for the Coast Guard, right away, whoever was there for handling the first aid treatment for the person, right away they would give instructions right away, call for help. Now, if there's no one else around, we call for help after we get our own thoughts together. If you are in this situation, professionals really have a grasp on this. If they're well trained and experienced, that's really the value. So call for help is number 2. And of course, we're available right locally, but if you're not, don't really have a comfort level with a new person, perhaps you'll find out who you can call for help through a relative, a friend, someone who's really trustworthy and has experience in this field.
Since people can't, I'm sorry, go ahead.
I would say that would lead right to the third part. So.
Oh, okay. Well, let's stop a little bit for calling for help. So obviously people can't come and see you personally right now, but you're still available to take phone calls. Is that correct?
Yes. And we're considered essential right now. Folks and their worries and concerns about money and cash flow and income and so forth. This is really important, and it affects people's health, candidly. So yes, we are available. I have a whole team, which I'll go through with you on this. I call it a relief and response team for this rescue mission that we're on. We want to make sure we help people that we're available.
Well, that's great. I mean, you definitely need, people are going to need some help for sure. So let's go to the point number 3.
So once you call a professional, that professional's role is to help you design a plan. Now, that's easier said than done. And there are many, many aspects to a plan, but I've yet to see in 32 years an actual integrated, comprehensive plan that covers all the needs of a person. Now, in a medical sense or an emergency sense, there's all different things that need to be done and triaged, as a triage nurse would do when someone's rolled into an emergency room. Mm-hmm. However, in this case, there's really important things to deal with. What is the money going to be used for? Is it for your retirement? Is it for income, as I mentioned earlier? Is it for leaving as much as you can behind for your family? Is it for charitable causes? Or in most cases, a multiple amount of things. So we have to apportion the areas of money to areas that fit into a comprehensive plan, and the investments then are built around that.
People's plans might have changed now. Many people could be out of jobs, especially some of our, generation between 55 and 65 who are still working, and maybe they've now been furloughed. So what do you suggest? I mean, they probably have a retirement plan, maybe they have a savings plan, but now they might have to dip into some of that. What do you suggest?
Wow. So it all depends on the circumstances, but now you're really touching upon the reality of now. And this really creates a need for the understanding of how the psychological factors, besides the actual metrics of what's going on. Mm-hmm. And that's the term we use is what's called behavioral finance. And so to answer your question directly, if someone is now out of work or they're in a position where they don't really know where their money's going to come from, and they have to now look to other resources. It does require, first, right away, calm down, make sure you're not going to panic, think rationally, call a professional, and then make a plan accordingly. And the plans are always revisited. So many times in the olden days, I'd call and someone would say, I'm fine, I'm set, I'm fine, I'm set. So I say, I'm offering a comprehensive plan to help you through your finance. I'm fine, I'm set. Not now. People are not fine and not set right now. They think they are. That's probably more of a delusion than anything else. We need to revisit the plan and reevaluate and regroup. In the psychological terms, we have to reflect on what our values are, what's most important. And of course, needless to say, traditionally we have to look at what our cash flow needs are to survive, our survival needs.
Right.
That's why we have the survival handbook.
Yeah, good stuff. And then number 4.
Number 4, this is the largest and most difficult obstacle I face, again, in the area of behavioral finance, and that is put the plan into action, execute the plan. You and I talk all day long, all week long, 2 weeks long about putting a plan together. It's kind of funny because I'm just doing this for my family now, my parents right here in Laguna Woods. We're finally putting it together and implementing their complete estate plan. Finally getting it. Now they're in their 80s. Well, my stepdad's in his 80s. We have a large problem as people procrastinating and putting off till tomorrow what we should do today. During stressful times, it's even more difficult because our brains kind of get protective and we have a reticular activation system that shrinks and we start to put our blinders on. Biggest objections I see with putting things off is time and money. Well, what's the excuse with time now? We have more time now than we ever did in history. That's one of the silver linings of this whole pandemic. Money, time and money. If you don't take action and put a plan together, it will absolutely guaranteed cost you more money and your family more money later on, and definitely more time.
Right.
So in order to save time and money, I'm going to advocate that don't allow time or money to get in your way of instituting and executing a plan.
Excellent. Now, you do have all of these steps in a book that you are offering for free. Tell me about the book. I mean, obviously it'll go over what you've just talked about, but how do they get it?
Well, the book is available through us. We are here in Laguna Hills and candidly nationwide. We're sending the books to our clients and our loved ones. It is a survival handbook, a financial survival handbook. Candidly, it outlines these 4 steps, but in detail. The roadblocks we face and each one of these characters is a chapter in our financial survival handbook. And you can get it by calling us 949-715-8585, and we'll send it out within 5 business days. That's our goal. The handbook will outline all of what I said with a lot of ammunition. I've worked a long time on this, 32 years of, distilling it down to its simplest points to really refine and have a plan together that will work not only during this stressful time, but in the future as well.
Well, that's great. I think our viewers will really appreciate the fact that you're taking the initiative of sending them something, getting it into their hands so they don't do any of those. Well, they'll do the 4 things, but number 1, like you said, is don't panic. And I know that a lot of people probably are very worried right now.
Oh my gosh, and it's easier said than done. Phone call after phone call after phone call these last few weeks going through reviews. Clients are like, gosh, I'm so glad I talked with you, Nick. I feel so much better now. Yeah. There's a reassurance by a professional that understands things from a different perspective to help us then deal with this in a different way. And the way is to have your money serve you and not stress you out. We have a full response and relief team that's really there for rescue. I am a single person. However, I wouldn't ever be as successful as I am without my staff.
Right.
So, when someone calls, they won't necessarily speak with me directly for ordering this book or perhaps future conversation. The staff is there to help as well. They're there for our relief.
You know what? Introduce your staff to me in terms of who they are and what they do.
I think that once again, I'm only as successful as my staff. And my first line of defense in dealing with complex issues is my certified financial planner, 16 years. Her name is Melissa Wright. Okay. She's very personable, very warm, extremely bright. And she takes care of all of the complex issues regarding a comprehensive plan, from budgets and cash flow analysis, and of course, investment analysis, annuity analysis. People have so many questions about annuities and so on, insurance products, all the way down to buttoning down a really comprehensive estate plan. Okay. Estate plans are shifting now. People's values and their goals are changing in light of what's happened. I also have a full-time operations specialist. A lot of small firms like mine, boutique firms, don't really have an operations department to handle legal, compliance issues, paperwork, all the things. Want to make it seamless and easy for someone perhaps to implement a plan and actually put it into action, meaning the investments behind it, the insurance behind it, and so on. I have an operations staff. And her main helper is what we call a project manager. The operations person's name is Carrie Evans. And then my project manager, Terry is from a bank. She actually worked in a bank before, and she handles all different projects that come up. A client looks at their statement and says, wait a minute, I want to see things oriented a certain way so that I can see real clearly this part, this part, this part. It's a multifaceted plan. She'll lay it all out so the client can go online and visualize and see that plan very clearly. There's always projects involved. And then last but not least, the person that you and I have been working with most is Shannon. Shannon is my human relations director. She's the one that handles all of my correspondence on television, public relations, but also she sets up all of our educational meetings. The format is really, really helpful for us.
Right.
She helps put that together.
Right.
And when someone calls in, there is a triage person, my own executive assistant, and she works to help with making appointments for me and handling all of my online presence and my schedule, which is very, very, very busy. You're an organized person. So we have a nice staff, all women. If you notice, I just talked about all folks that are women, and they work very well together.
I love it. And it's great that you have so many people that can handle so many different things in one location. So excellent. Well, thank you so much for the information. I wanted to wish you and your staff stay healthy, and hopefully all of this will change in the next couple of weeks, and people will be able to be face-to-face again.
Absolutely. Things are getting better, and we can work virtually with anyone. That's the good news, like you and I are now. And I wish you and yours healthy as well.
All right. Thank you so much. It was very nice to talk with you.
Thank you too, Lisa. Bye-bye.
And we'll be right back after this.